There, microphone is on. We are here for a brown bag challenge. And if you'd like these challenges, let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you'd like to see as far as maybe we need to up the game a little bit and do 7 items or something. I don't know. I love doing these because they make me think outside the box. And if you're just joining us and have never seen one of these before, what the flop is a brown bag challenge? Well, I had my partner in shenanigans come up to the studio. I handed him 5 bags and said put 5 items in each one of these bags. And just random, whatever, you know, whatever you think. It was funny because he grabbed for one thing. I said, oh, no, not that. It was my bin that I had for all my journal cover art. I had everything already put together. I'm like, no, not that. I said, those are 6-hour projects right there. So, anywho, he put 5 items in each bag, or thereabouts, and stapled the bag closed. So our challenge, my challenge today, is to go and put these together in a functional item for junk journaling or organization, or you know, whatever comes to my brain. But this is a challenge to hopefully inspire you to pick 5 random items in your craft, Rick, and let me know what you come up with. So, and Rick, I should probably tell you what a Rick is, huh? A random inclusion collection. We're not hoarders, we have a Rick. Always have, you know, a handsome Rick in our lives. So, let me grab my staple remover here so I don't destroy what's left of my fingernails. And we'll see what's in the bag. Make sure those end up in the garbage so I don't end up stepping on them. And oh, you're wasting the staples. I could reuse these. I really could. I could put them in something, I'm sure. But I'm not going to worry about it. They go in the bin that gets recycled, so they'll get used eventually. Okay, here we go. Dun 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 dun. What's in the bag? I can't see it. So what do we got? Oh, my Lanta. Oh, I don't know if I can use this. These are sheets of foil. Oh Lord. He put a stamp in here. And then, if you guys know what these are for, they're lids to Mickey's. He had never had Mickey's before, so we got a 6-pack of grenades. Mickey's. Okay, well, you know what we can do? I wonder if that would work. How am I supposed to use these? I don't think he understands that these are like a 3-hour project. Okay. We're starting at 4 minutes into the video. So we've got an hour and 34 minutes to figure out what we're gonna do here. All right, give me 1 second. Okay, I think I know what I'm gonna do. That, or I think he's trying to challenge me with color. Is what I think. Oh wait, hang on. What else is on here? I think he picked it out because of this color, but little did he know that there are other colors underneath. Ha ha ha. I feel a little sneaky and underhanded. There is a chrome. And I wonder if we can just take a snippet. There we go. Okay, now an idea is coming together. There we go. Roll that back up, put that over where it's safe. Okay, so for this one, I think we're gonna do another folio. We're gonna do it as like a little mini one, okay? Excuse me, goodness, that came out of nowhere. We're only using one of these. See, I love Mickey's because they have these little teasers inside of them. They make you think. This one, I kind of know what it is, but not really. And I'm gonna keep that one. And that one. Well, use that one. Because the little, if you've never had Mickey's before, it's a malt liquor. And I like it. Some people don't. Some people say it tastes like a dumpster, but I like it. And it brings back memories of better times. And it's expensive-ish, but it's good, in my opinion. So, let's see here. I need my big scissors because these little scissors won't do. All right, so we're gonna cut the bottom off of this. This is how I usually do my brown bag projects, is I cut the bottom off because every time I try and rip it, it just rips all weird. And to save myself the frustration, I go ahead and just cut it off. Okay, so we're gonna cut this here at the bottom of the handles. And make sure we get straight in there. There we go. And then we'll put this in the use later pile. There we go. And then we're gonna take and find the seam. So there's the seam of the bag. I don't normally do this, but for this one, we're gonna do it. Because I wanna make something kind of pocket size. I'm gonna move my mouse over, there we go. And we're gonna cut this here. So we're cutting off about 2 inches, which is fine. Yeah, see, we cut that seam off that way. We don't have to worry about it. And then we've got this really long piece of paper, and we're gonna double it up so it's nice and strong, because paper bags are not as strong as they used to be. And we have this still on here. So take this off. That's from the bottom of the handles. We have one on this side. Yes, we do. There we go. Okay. Excuse me. So we've got this. that we can use. So let's move Fanny out of the way for a moment. And I'm going to glue her down. I'm going to do it this way. Because I think, actually, you know what? Yeah, we'll just kind of line it up as best we can. And then we'll trim it up before we do any more folding. There we go. I do need to get my... There we go. It's not exactly straight, but hey, we'll roll with it. All right, now comes the glue stick and the art glitter glue, which I spent like a half hour cleaning out that tip. Do this to the edges. I'm not going to go all the way to that edge because I know that it's not exactly to the edge there. And this just helps. Probably not that. I was going to put that cap on there. I'm losing it. Hey, 105 live streams and you would be a little punch drunk too. Okay, there we go. Okay, while this is setting up, move this out of the way. Move that over there. We're going to take, I wonder if my hole punch, I don't think my hole punch is that big. I don't think so. I think I have one bigger and one smaller. I don't have one that size. So, okay, I'm digging. I'm digging. Because I think, excuse my sniffles. Yeah, those are all really big. Okay, so, yeah, so this is really big. That, and where'd the black archival go? Here it is. And heat inkers. Because I'm going to take a moment and re-ink the black. Actually, I think my black is right here. No, that's distress. Okay. So, seagrass, sepia, coffee, night, petunia, green. Where is my blackberry anchor? I know I used it in a project. Did it get put over? Oh, this is just, you know what? Fine. We'll use a different color. We'll use red. Actually, maybe it'll work. I don't know. Let's try it. Let's get a scrap piece of paper here. Actually, it'd probably be easier to do it this way. Oh, we're getting it pretty okay. I love this stamp. I got this at, I got this at the reuse store, the Austin reuse store, if I remember correctly. So, put this down right here. Excuse me. All right. Hold this down and pull this way. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Let's see if we can get it to do that again. I'm gonna have to let this dry because I just smudged it, but that's okay. So this is foil, adhesive foil. You put adhesive down, and then and then the foil sticks to it. You let the adhesive dry, and then you pull the carrier sheet away. I ain't got time for all that. So we're gonna stamp this, cut it out, and put it in the center of this, and then I'm gonna take, I'm gonna grab the, what's it called? UV resin, and put UV resin inside there, and then we'll paint the edges and maybe put some beads or something in there. You'll see, you'll see. Okay, that's cool. We're just gonna leave the rest of that. I'm gonna move this out of the way. Okay, that needs to dry. I think what we're gonna do is I'm gonna grab some paint, and we're gonna paint the inside of this, and we're gonna use, oh yeah, I thought I had some black metallic. Maybe that's over here. You know what, we can just use some black gesso. That'll be fine. So, got our black gesso here. There we go. And where'd that brush go? Here it is. Just gonna paint this black on the inside, not perfectly. But I just want to kind of make it look a little different. And then we'll get the outside. I don't know how I'm supposed to hold this. Okay, we'll just work with it. So the black gesso just gives it, tones it down a little bit. I'm not like making it perfect. There we go. So I'm just going to kind of take my fingers and roll around like that. There we go. I'll just set that right there. Wipe our fingers off. Clean the brush off. And put the black gesso away. Wrong way. There we go. We might need that again, which is fine. Okay. Actually, we are going to need that again, but we're going to let that dry. Smooch that over there. I don't got black gesso all over my hands. It's just fine. Okay. We're going to cut this so it's straight. Hiya! Knocking stuff over. And that should be dry any moment now. It is so we're going to cut this little bit off just so it's straight, even. And this should be straight and even. So let's design this. How are we going to do this? We're going to do just like this. Or, you know what? I have a better idea. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So okay. So we're going to take this. Yep. And then we'll cut this off at 10 because that'll give us 5 and 5 to fold over. So there we go. And then we're going to take this and cut this straight. Just a little off the top. And then make it 10 up and down too. Yeah. Okay. And then I'll grab my scoreboard here, which I don't have the little tool. What happened to the little tool? Oh no! Did it fall off in my pile? Oh Lord. I stick it in the jar. See, I love you more than coffee, but not always before coffee. All right, we'll just have to use this. Okay, so we're gonna have this be just a smidge bigger. So we're gonna do this at 5 1/4. Okay, I'm gonna fold that in like so. And then we're going to take this, make this 1, 2, 3, 1.5. Okay, so this isn't gonna work. I need my ruler. Excuse me. So that's about where we want it. And this is a little longer than our board, which is fine. I'm going to turn it around. Do 3.5, maybe. There we go. Make sure it lines up. I wonder if this would work better. Yeah, that works better. Oops, I just made a hole. That's okay. It's okay. So, I'm going to fold. So what we're going to do, move this out of the way, take our scissors, and we're going to cut up to the fold. So we're cutting right here. There we go. And then this one. Okay, let's make sure that we have this. Yep. So I'm going to write on here just really lightly in pencil so I don't forget. I'm just going to write a little F right here so I don't forget where my front is at. We can erase that later. All right, so we're going to have this one flip up this way. And then we're going to have this one flip up this way. And probably this one flip up this way. There we go. So, and then, no, I don't want that because I need to have the, okay, so in order to have this work flip right and hang out right, we need to take a little bit off this edge and this edge and this edge and this edge. The outer edges can stay, but the inner edges need to be snipped down just a fur. So just so they'll lay flat. And you can take your ruler and draw yourself a line like this. Up. As long as your pencil doesn't break. Well, okay. This thing has been thrown around the room. No wonder the graphite broke. Okay, so that is how much we are taking off. Just that little tiny fur. Okay? And you want to do it on all your inner cuts. And you only want to do it to the line. And then you snip it off. There we go. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing with these two and this one. But let's get a different pencil. I'm finding that if I actually draw a little line, I am a little straighter. This guy needs to get sharpened, so we're going to put him over there. I have a pencil sharpener, it's just not handy right this second. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I have to bring it really close to me because I don't have bifocals and I kind of need them. But that's something I'll address when I can. Okay. I'm going to take these two and snip them off. There we go. Now we have our flaps. Excuse me. We are going to round corners and give a notch. Oh, there's my pencil sharpener. Okay, we'll put it by the pencil so I remember. And then, so let's round corners. We're going to use the large. Do I want to do the bottom two corners? Yeah. Well, we'll do that after we glue it down. Okay, so now we want notches. And narrow notches. Just little hints of things. Give me one moment, I need to get a drink. One other thing that we're going to do here is we're going to take, this is a paper strip that I made, and I have a whole big roll of it because I'm me. And we're going to cut this down a little bit because I think this is only 1 inch wide. Yeah, so this being like 2.5 maybe. Let's see. Here, let's cut this side off. What are we at? Let's do 2 1/4. There we go. Excuse me. And then this needs to be yay tall. But that end needs to get cut off too. So we're going to cut this off just a little bit. And then, you know what, we're going to zhuzh all of it. And then we'll cut it off as we need it, and we can use the other piece in another project. So let's grab our Fabri-Tac, because this works best with Fabri-Tac. And there we go. As long as we're not on top of what's smoky. Now before we, I cleared off my desk last night to do our create along, and I put everything away, and now it's like, oh, I need to get all that stuff out again. Okay, so we're going to take this and we're going to ink it up. We're going to make a belly band for that last page, but because this needs some time to set up, go. Okay, there's the black. We're going to take the rubbing alcohol and spray this real quick. I need to turn the, there we go. And that's good. I need to fill that up. Let's get this out of the way before I poke my eye out. You'll shoot your eye out. I don't know what that was. It just fell. Okay. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with the inside here because this is kind of meh. We've got the orange paint still. Maybe we do. Another stencil. Stencils seem to be the fastest. All right, I forgot to put this on its side. So, I don't remember who I learned this from, but it works really slick. So we take a line. Okay. And then we set it down. And I like to, so I stay on task. I put a clip here. And then we just kind of I put too much glue down. Imagine that. Me, too much glue? Never. All right. So, there we go. There we go. Now we're going. Okay, so what works really good for this, other than your fingers, is using this rubber spatula. Oh, I just ripped it, which is fine because you can have it. There we go. And this does work, I promise. It works better with fabric than it does with paper, but it dried right there, so we gotta kind of give it some love. There we go. And now we're back to our wet glue. little bit more. Finish this up. This works better because then you can push this against your finger and fold it whichever way you want. There we go. Easy peasy. Kind of fix that one. I need my skewer. There we go. Just gonna kind of fix this guy right here. Because he's kind of not laying right. Yeah. There we go. Good enough. Snip it off the bottom. There we go. I'm going to let that dry for a moment. You can take the clip off of it. Okay, done with that. And put the clip back on here so it doesn't unravel. This is stuff I like to do when I'm sitting in front of, I don't watch TV, but I watch a lot of YouTube. So when I'm sitting at my desk in my office and watching YouTube, I'll sit and just glue the ends together and wrap. And those are pages that I just took a ruler and ripped after I stamped them and then put the ends together and made a paper tape of sorts. So there's that. I've got some ivory thread, and what else do we have that we could put on there? You know what? Well, I got an idea. I've got some metallic ribbon. We'll just use the black. That'll look cool. So we'll cut a piece of metallic ribbon to go along the whole length of it. Get your shades out. This is kind of sparkly. I always get these after a holiday, and usually I manage to use them up, but I had a whole bunch of it in my storage. Yep, we're gonna use that. So let's cut that off there. Now that I got glitter all over the place. Hey, come on. Listen, here we go. Okay, that's why I keep it in a bag. So I don't get glitter all over all the other ribbons. Excuse me. Okay. We'll take this over. As soon as this dries, we'll take it over to the sewing machine, and I'll just zip it down. There we go. And what are we going to do with this? What are we going to do with you? I'm trying to think of what stencils I have that might work. Let's take a look. Because, you know what, actually, I got a better idea. Give me a moment. Let's see what we got here. I don't want to use anything too modern. You know, that might work. 'Cause that, yeah. So we're going to use the orange paint. I really like the stencil. I got it from Hero Arts, if I remember correctly. Okay, let's grab our daubers from yesterday. I'll just reuse this plate. No, we'll reuse the dauber, but not the plate, because I don't want. I'll grab a different one. There we go. And because I don't want it getting cross-contaminated, like dry paint. So let's lay this. A piece of parchment. Yes, we do. So you know, it might look kind of cool. Have any black paint really handy, so we're going to use the black gesso, and hopefully it'll dry. I think this will look better if we do it like this. Just take a little bit on the back of our palette knife. Go. Well, that doesn't look real good. It went underneath the. So let's put this in a place where it can dry. And then we'll take. Where'd that piece of paper go? A piece of paper and smoosh it down. That looks cool. do another one. Smooch it down. This, I'm trying to lift off the leftovers, so to speak. And then, that looks really cool on there. So we can come in with the same stencil, but first we need to wipe off the back. Hey. So I'm just going to take the stencil, lay it down, and we're just going to kind of clean up the back a little bit. Because I didn't have it tacked down as my other ones that I usually use are a little bit sticky on the back because I use the stencil holder spray stuff on some of them, which is fine because we're going to go over this with the orange. And so we're going to line this back up. Actually, you know what we need to do? We need to dry this real quick. I'm going to mute my microphone, bring out the handy dandy hair dryer. Mute the microphone first. All right, then we're going to take this and line it back up. Take this. This is Vat Orange from Golden Fluid Acrylics. Very Halloween colors here. Okay, and then we're going to line that up. We're going to take the orange. Listen. And we're just going to kind of come in with the orange like this. Just we're just kind of building up color here. And I think we're good. I missed a couple. It's actually just coming in. There we go. All right, now let's just do same thing over here. This time we'll be a little bit more careful. And we're just going to do the corner so it kind of carries it. Okay. That turned out better. Let's try this real quick. So I'm gonna mute the microphone. Okay, now we're gonna do splatters. So I'm gonna put a few drops in here of that. There's probably half a teaspoon in there. And I'm gonna grab this, my water, and I'm gonna put just a little bit of water in there. Oops, that was a lot of it. That's all right. It'll still work. And I'm gonna grab my fan brush, one of the many. I'm gonna put a little bit more orange in there. There we go. And I'm gonna take this brush and I'm gonna see if there's any wet gesso still on here. And we're gonna put a little bit of black, just like that much, just to darken it up a bit. Let's close that before we spill it. Let's put a little bit more. Now we're going to splatter this. I'm gonna move that out of the way. I'm going to purposely put a spot right there. There we go. All right. I don't have my paintbrush pot up on my desk, so we're going to have to put these over here. It's downstairs in the laundry room, getting refurbished, cleaned up and stuff. Okay, I'm going to turn on the hairdryer and we're going to dry this up real quick. Okay, so I'm going to clean this orange brush as best I can without actual pot of my brush cleaner. And then we're going to do some silver splatters. And then we'll just let these dry. There we go. And then take this and dump it back in here. Oh my goodness. Actually, I'm going to leave that for now because I might use that on the inside. Okay, so I'm going to let this dry so we can work on put it on the floor. Okay, we got to work on this. So I came up with an idea to put this inside there. And I think what we're going to do is bring this over here so we have something to work on. And then put this right here. Get our fine point Sharpie and draw a circle. Okay, not the best circle, but it'll do. And get these scissors out because those ones have kind of a ridge on them, and I don't want to cut this out kind of roughly, so I'm not hanging on to all of that. Put that up there so it's out of the way, and then I'm going to cut inside the circle as best I can. There, now it won't stick to the paper or the foil. There we go, cut that extra off. There we go. Let's see if that fits in there. No, it's a little big, which is what I was afraid of. So we're going to take this. I'm just going to cut a little piece of paper. Actually, do I have a little piece of paper? Instead of cutting that paper, why don't we just grab a piece of paper. There we go. Let's do it this way. Let's do, because I'm smudging the schmuck out of this, but it's still cool. So without folding it, let's fold it. And cut it down. This is fiddly stuff, man. we go, and then we're going to fold it again. I'm shaking. This is really fiddly work. I don't like fiddly work. But it's gonna look cool, so. Sacrifices need to be made. And you know what? I'm gonna take this and just crinkle it. There we go. And we'll uncrinkle it. Well, we lost the pattern, sort of. But still got, you know what? That. There we go. It's a good in fact, that's really cool, and I'll probably use that piece on another project. But time to go get. We're gonna be over because it's already 1:20, and we have to have this done by 1:34. So. Such is life. So I'm gonna grab, okay, they're not in here. Where did they go? They're not in their home. Where did they go? Aha. This will work. I have to do both of them. Now, I'm going to live on the wild side and not put gloves on. But I am going to put parchment down, because this stuff is sticky. Excuse me. Okay, so I have this idea in my head of how I'm going to do this. So let's just do this. It is going to work. Okay. And I just don't want to argue with gloves right now. I'm going to put a little bit in there, like so. Coat the bottom. I'm going to take a little piece of foil here, and we're going to put it in there. So it touches the bottom, and all the other resin comes up around it. We're going to need 2 sticks, because 2 sticks are better than 1. And it looks like we tinted our resin with the ink, which is fine. As long as the silver still comes through, I'm good with whatever happens. Okay. So I'm just kind of smushing it. There we go. We're going to put the sticks underneath here, this underneath here. And then I'm going to grab have these silver, put a few silver ball bearings in there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then I've got, that's gold. There's some gunmetal. I thought I had just plain black too. Those are silver. Okay, so we're gonna put a few of those in there. Okay, let's pull this out. So it should be hard. And then we're gonna dump a little bit more resin in here. There we go. It's almost too much, it's okay. I'm gonna dump these in there. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna push them to the side here. Like that. And do the same with these. Just gonna put a pinch in, try and get them to the side. Okay. And then we have these micro beads. Which are super staticky. And I'm going to try and grab some of the more bigger ones. And this would be easier if I had a scoop, but I don't have one handy. Actually, I do. I should. I shouldn't say I do. I should say I should. There we go. Here's a little scoop. So I'm trying to try and get the big ones. But the small ones are welcome to the party too. We don't discriminate. Okay. I'm going to cut this off. There we go. And I'm going to go in and push everything to the side. Okay. Let's see where we're at. Let's put a few more of these in there. And a few more of these. There we go. So all I'm doing is kind of moving them around to be where I want them to be. and lay flat. Okay, so I think we got enough of the black ones. Let's put a few more of these clear ones in there because those look kind of cool. There we go. Trying to get them to kind of mix up so they're not like all the same together. Okay, that looks pretty cool. That's why I like the UV resin, because I can futz around with it until I like it. There we go. And then we're going to stick this underneath here. And I'm going to let this cure while I go sew that other thing. Probably won't let it sit under there for a full 5 minutes, but so straight stitch, length, turn the sewing machine on, that usually helps, because then there's a light that I can actually see with. And put that down right there. And we'll hold it straight and then put it through. Okay, so we're gonna stitch a few, go back a few, stitch a few, go back a few, stitch a few, go back a few, stitch a few. Well, this one will just stick right there. Hang on. I knew that was going to be a problem. That's why I tried to. There we go. Straighten it out. Backwards to the whole thing. So our strings are both at the same end. There we go. There we go. All right. Let's clean up this little mess so I don't spill these. And this is how the belly band turned out. I like it. All right, now this guy, he's pretty much set up, so let's put the last coat of resin on him. the, I think that's a little too much, but we want to get the edges of this too, so there we go. And I'm going to take, do I have one of those brushes in here? I don't think I do. I'll just get a new one. So I'm going to take a little bit of resin and I'm going to brush the sides just like this. So we're not going to hit our 90-minute mark. We may have to do 100-minute because resin, this is the only way I know how to do these, is to do resin on them. There we go. Now the bottom is a little sticky, but that's okay. My hands are all sticky, but that's okay. We'll just take some rubbing alcohol and a rag. I'm gonna put that right there. This is a chemical brush or adhesive brush. You can get them on Amazon. I get mine at Harbor Freight. So take a little bit of rubbing alcohol and let me just wipe the fingers off. I need to get a drink now because I have resin, and I'll move this over. There we go. Let's move these over. Gonna make some room, and we're gonna move this up here. Okay, this can go back over here. That's sticky. Let's stick that sticky under here. Put the lid on that. All right. You know what? I need to fill this up. Actually, let's use this. Nope, there's not enough in there. We can use it to clean this though. There we go. I don't want to take the time to see, we're already 5 minutes over, so yeah, but I think it'll be worth it. And I want to do a whole series of these, like just different things inside of them, other resin pieces, that kind of thing. So when we come back from vacation, make sure you're joining in on the live streams. Okay. I need to get a drink. I have to get a drink. Okay, so put this down. I am going to ink around all of this. And what I think I might do, I don't know. Actually, yeah, I am going to do it. Because I think it needs something. Okay, so this is easier for me. Is just to go like this. And I am going to have to fill up my rubbing alcohol because I need to blend this out. Oh yeah. I didn't do very good prep work, did I? let's take this and put it here. And we're just gonna do something like this to kind of connect the two. There we go. There, that's good enough. And then sorry about the rattle in your ears, but I needed something to drink and my hands are sticky. All right, let's fill up that rubbing alcohol so we can fade this out. Let's move this out of the way. This was gifted to me and I love it. There we go. And then that's just rubbing alcohol. Then we're going to take this. Should we go different directions? Nah, that's not. But let's make this crooked too. And, oops, there we go. There we go. And I'll lift this one up. I want to make this intentionally even more crooked. Okay, there we go. That's kind of a shadow. And then let's finish inking. go. And we're going to fold this up. Why am I reaching over? There we go. Work smart, not hard. There we go. Let's get this fold. Actually, let's get this down so those two get glued down. There we go. And there. And there. Okay. And then this one goes here. Here. And I did the wrong side of this, so we're just gonna leave this as a flip. So what we're gonna do for that is we'll take the stencil again. And stencil it. Okay. Nope. Missed one in the middle here. Come on, work with me. Okay. Go. Get that a little bit more. And I got silver on there, which is fine, because we can go like this. Who says you need paintbrushes, right? There, I like that. do it to the other side too. There. Oh, we need to put a little bit here. Just a little bit. Okay. So that goes this way. And then that goes there. Okay. And I know I have a piece of fabric. So we'll take that in a minute. Let's flip that up. Oh, we're going to flip that here. And then put this here. So I have it stick up a little bit. Kind of like a bookmark. So we're going to cut it. Right there. Okay. So I'll do that. There's a gnat up here. Okay, that can go over there. Come on. There we go. Sincerely, there's a gnat that keeps flying at me, and I don't know why. I can't help you, my friend. Mother of pearl. I can't see because the gnat keeps flying. The gnat keeps flying in my glasses, and it's like, why are you there? Do I have something wrong with my eyes? All right, so because this is going to stick up a little bit, I want to take a little time and prep this. We're going to put our stamp that we're supposed to use on the back. Okay, and I need one more little piece for right there. So I do this so things don't get stuck when you slide them in. There we go. And then I'm going to take some brown. Hang on a second. Okay, so I'm going to take this and I'm just going to make this tape a little brown. So that goes on that one. Take our stamp. There we go. I'm going to do them right here too. So we have something kind of poking out there. And I'm going to hit it with the rubbing alcohol so it kind of blends out. I'm going to do the same thing with this guy. And then hopefully this glue works. Thank you for working glue. I appreciate it. Okay, so I'll put this right here like this. Hold that down for a minute. For real, dude. It's gonna fly right in my eye. I don't even know why he's up here. It's like, feed me, put some food out for me. No, no food up in the studio. That is against the rules. Unless they're dry foods like pretzels. Pretzels are allowed. Pretzels should be allowed everywhere. All right, so let's put a little here. I'm gonna smooth it out so it doesn't. There we go. Okay, and now we need to do this right here, and this right here, this right here. There we go. Almost done. Now, I forgot to flip it over. Okay, we're gonna move this over, flip this over. There we go. So, I'll try not to go more than a half hour over, but you know, gonna have to make some new parameters. No paint. Because if it was just the, whatchamabobber, if it was just the resin, I would have been fine because I could have done that first, and I should have done that first, but I didn't know exactly what I was going to do, and it still kind of winged it. There we go. Let's do the same with the brown. All right, I'm going to take this to the side. I'm going to spray it with some rubbing alcohol to get the colors to blend. So, bring alcohol. Okay. So you can see they kind of blend out a little bit. There we go. Scratch it a little bit. There we go. And then I've got some of that. I think I still have some of that brown ribbon, the brown lace somewhere. I need to clean. I needs to clean. Now everything just fell on the floor. Oh, yeah. I thought I had. Yep, I did. There we go. So we take. There we go. There we go. Okay, so let's see, is this cured? Mostly. Okay. Let me do it like this. Actually, we're going to do it like this. Okay. And and something a little more like gauzy. Okay, and still something a little gauzy to give volume. Let's see what we got over here. That'll work, I think. So let's see what this looks like. I'm gonna take these. I think we need something that's still more billowy. I think I know what I need. Yeah. Wait. I think it's in here. Yep. Okay. I don't want to use stark white because I already got white on there, so let's grab some of this. This is probably not going to work the way I want it to, but we're going to try. So I'm cutting this as straight as I can and as uneven as I can. My brain always wants to go straight. Like, I need to be more even. Oh, that shattered that off. That's okay. We'll leave it. Okay, and then I'm going to take my little needle nose pliers here, and we're just going to bend them back. Easier to do with my fingers. Hopefully I don't poke them. Okay, I need another one here. There we go. Another one here. There we go. Okay. Now, just peel off that. I got one left. There we go. All right, so get all that cleaned up. Okay. And I'm just going to kind of ink this a little bit just to kind of take the shine down. go. And then so no one cuts their finger. Put that around. Yep. Okay, I know this stuff doesn't dry real fast, but we're gonna try it anyways. And while it's drying, I will assemble this. So, oh shoot. Just squeezed all over the place. I should know better, but I want to get this done. Okay, so we're going to put this here, and wrap it around. It'd be faster if I had my hot glue gun, but I don't, because this is not sticking. You know what? You know what'll work to get it to stick? Is Fabri-Tac. So we're going to load this up with the collage medium. Like that. Let's see if I can do this left-handed. No worries, I've got another bottle. I'm trying to use this one up because this one's the oldest. Okay. There we go. Now that we got it around, what we need to do is get it to stay together, because this will stay on there as long as we can get it to stay together. So I'm going to take some Fabri-Tac and load this baby up. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay, I'll set that right there. Okay. So what will happen here is this will adhere to the medium on top. I want to put this one down like that there like that, and then that there like that. That way I can lift it up. Okay. Shoot. Just dropped the ribbon. Okay. So what I was thinking is putting what if we folded it like this? No, that's not going to work either. I'm thinking of putting a Velcro dot right here so it stays closed. But then I'm thinking, well, what if we did a ribbon like a ribbon thing. That, yeah, let's do that. Okay. Sorry. I need to put this back in a different form. So what we're going to do is we'll have this stick out, and then this will just Velcro on the back. Okay, so we're going to put this down first. now that we got that, let's get this and cut it right here. And I want to take a little snippet of this. Let's cut it up so it's not all foldy. There we go, and then right here. There we go. We don't want it poofy, but we want it to be able to withstand the little Velcro dot that we're going to put there. So we're going to do a little dot here. Like that. And I think we're going to even cut this even smaller. There we go. There we go. Okay. That way it will be able to hold up to a little Velcro dot. So we're not going to put the Velcro dot on there until everything is dry. So we are done with this for now. Okay, wait for glue to dry. So, and then we'll just put a Velcro dot and then it will be done. So we are way over our time limit. I am, not we. I keep saying we. I don't know why. Maybe it's just, you know, multiple me, myself, and I type situation. Because sometimes I do argue with myself. I don't know why. But to give you a quick overview, so this is going to be our Velcro dot. That's going to close way back on the other side. Well, not way back. We'll have it hang out a little bit like that. So that way there's room. So there is, now you can't tell, where'd the rest of those guys go? There they are. This was a Mickey's cap. That's what it started out as. And now you have this cute little I don't know, it kind of reminds me of like the bottom of a fish tank. Like with all the cool stones and stuff. But yeah. So let's see, can we open this up so you can see? So we have a pocket here. This is a flip space. I could just have it be a pocket, but I wanted this, I spent all this time decorating it. Hang on, we don't want to ruin this, so let's move this guy out of the way. There we go. I just want to be able to show you. So I think we'll just put a clip here. Let's find a paper clip real quick that'll go there. Threads and scoops, clips and pins. So I have a handful of these. Let's put that one. I think that'll go cool. That kind of brings a little bit of this X into it. Harmony. Okay. I have all this fabric hanging off me. So let's put that right there. Actually, right here. There we go. And then belly band, pocket, pocket. There we go. So I'm gonna let this dry, and then we're just gonna put the glue down on it after it dries. So we went an hour over our limit, but you know what? That's okay. Sometimes you gotta put those extra touches in, and you don't really have an idea until you have an idea. So give yourself some grace. and go create something awesome. And remember, be kind to one another. Peace, love, and happiness.